And so another thing we're trying to do here every week here is do a little book review. And I should put a little disclaimer out there that any of our books that we're doing here on review are not here for the purpose of selling or anything else. We just think these are good information for all atheists out there. And if you're wondering what books to read and things like that, we're showing you what books our group is reading. People from our group be coming on here every week and do a book review, and it's not always going to be the same person. This gives you a chance to meet the different people in our group and give you some idea of what books are out there. This book is entitled "The Book the Church Doesn't Want You to Read." It's written by Tim Leadham, and it's put out by the Truth Seekers. Sorry about that. He tried to put out by the Truth Seeker Company, and it's very excellent. It's well researched, goes through the notes real well, bibliography and everything else.
Beautiful.
And
knock that steeple over. Sorry.
Okay, and today's topic is going to be about prophecies, Bible prophecies. One of the most common Christian fundamentalist argument is, how do you explain all the prophecies that Jesus fulfilled? And the answer is quite simple. The so-called prophecies fulfillment that the New Testament's writers claim in person and deeds of Jesus of Nazareth were prophecies fulfillments only in the fertile imagination of the writers. The famous virgin birth prophecy, Isaiah 7:14 and Matthew 1:23, the prophecy of the Messiah's birth in Bethlehem, the prophecy of King Herod's slaughter of the children of Bethlehem. These and many other like them became prophecies fulfillments only through the distortion and misapplication of the original Old Testament statements. To discuss this in depth would require an entire book. So instead, we'll concentrate on another aspect of prophecy fulfillment argument. New Testament claims of prophecy fulfillment for which no Old Testament sources can be found. This is one of my favorite parts of the book here. I was real impressed with this. An example would be John 7, verse 37 and 38, where Jesus allegedly said, "If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. He who believes in me, as the Scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water." At that time, the only scriptures were the Old Testament. Yet try as they have, you will never find that statement. You will never find that in the scriptures of that day. The prophecy is non-existent. That just blows me away. Here is a quote from Jesus, and they are unable to get that correct. So they either misquoted Jesus or Jesus misquoted the Bible. That just blows me away. This is live May 31st, and if you want to call in and talk about Bible prophecies, that's going to be today's topic. There's a number there, and we'd love to hear your points of prophecies that you think the Bible has fulfilled, or prophecies that prove the Bible, or anything like that. We'd like to hear some more of that. Similar to this is a prophecy fulfillment that was referred to in Matthew chapter 2, verse 23. Here it is claimed that when Jesus took his family to Nazareth, he fulfilled that which was spoken by the prophets. He, Jesus, will come from Nazarene. Shall be called a Nazarene, In all the Old Testaments, however, neither the word Nazareth or Nazarene is even mentioned. So how could it be true that the prophets, plural, had predicted that the Messiah would be called a Nazarene? To avoid admitting the mistake that was made. Other written prophecies that Matthew introduced that can be. Let's skip over that. What he's saying in that chapter is whether or not he used the word spoken or written. And he used the word spoken quite often, and so they're saying it refers to the same thing. But on to other prophecies that were supposedly prophesied that never were true. In telling the story of Judah's suicide, Matthew erred again in claiming that Jeremiah had prophesied about the purchase of the field where Judas was buried. After casting down in the sanctuary the 30 pieces of silver that had been paid for betraying Jesus, Judas went away and hanged himself. The priest then took the money and bought the potter's field to bury Judas in. Matthew claimed that this was a prophecy fulfillment. Then this was fulfilled, that which was spoken through Jeremiah, that the prophet saying, "And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was priced, whom certain of the children of Israel did price, and they gave them to the potter's field as the Lord appointed me." In reality, however, no statements like this can be found in the book of Jeremiah, and so that just goes on to show several of the mistakes that were made just in that short time there, of several prophecies that were supposedly made in that the New Testament says were made in the Old Testament, which can never be found anywhere in the Old Testament. So that there are other major weaknesses in the prophecy fulfillment argument, but the fact that the New Testament writers so often refer to prophetic utterances that can't even be found in the Old Testament is enough to cast serious doubt on their many claims of prophecy fulfillment. If they were wrong when they referred to the prophetic statements that cannot be found anywhere in the Old Testament, how can we know that they were right when they claim fulfillment of statements that can be found? The truth is we can't. Just to continue on to the book, there is one quote back here in the back from Gene Roddenberry I'd like to read real quick. As the human race moves into adolescence and adulthood, it can no longer afford to guide its affairs via these simple myths. Our human ancestors thought long and hard on who and what they were and came up with the best explanations that they could make. The frightening thing is that we, almost at the end of the 20th century, entering into the space age, becoming a society based on knowledge, are still hanging on to these explanations, which date back to our Stone Age. I think we need a more fruitful way to analyze these questions. We need exciting philosophical thought. That was Gene Roddenberry, and that's the way they closed the book on there. Very excellent book. I highly recommend it to atheists and Christians alike. Anybody out there, it goes into a lot more than just the Bible there. It goes into the origins of religion. Let me give you a quick highlight of goes into the origin, the history of all that. Goes into the different religions that are out there. The false messiahs that came before Jesus and after. Astrology and the Dead Sea Scrolls. These are just some of the titles that we. A brief history of the English Bible, which is real interesting. Shows you how it went through all the different editings that it went through and everything else. And any argument that you have that using the Bible, you first have to establish which Bible you're using. There's, at last count, I guess there's over 100 different Bibles here in circulation here just in the United States. So which one you're using is just amazing. Noah's flood and the different flood stories through history. The world's 16 crucified saviors. That was a real good chapter. I really like that chapter a lot. Locating Jesus in states in time, space, and archaeological. Damn. I do know how to talk, folks, and I do know how to read. Try to read and talk at the same time. Yeah. Okay. So that's this week's book review. The book the church doesn't want you to read. Excellent book.